This is Claudia from Infinity Yoga by Lulu. And today I wanted to bring you a different practice, a little bit of movement to bring a little bit of fire into the body, which will also allow you to connect to the present moment and make sure to connect with your breath as much as you can. And make sure you stay grounded and stay present with this moment. So if you are ready, if you would like, you can bring a block, a bolster, or any prop into the practice that you think will be beneficial for you. And we'll meet on the mat. Take some time, and if you're ready, I'll meet you in seated posture. You can bring a block to underneath your sit bones. You can come to a seated posture on your heels or cross-legged, whichever way feels best for you today. So I just want you to take a moment here to connect with the breath. You can bring one hand to belly, one hand to heart. And I want you to feel how your breath is today. Notice if you have a shallow breath or a deeper breath. And with that intention, just giving a nice welcome breath into the body. And exhale out. You can close your eyes here or you can keep them open, whichever one you prefer. Taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale out, sighing it completely out. Deep breath in, exhale out. And if you would like, let's do that one more time together. And if you're ready, you can bring your hands to your knees, and we're going to connect with gentle movement here for our hips and to warm up the upper torso. So let's begin with Sufi circles, connecting the sit bones to the ground and creating circular motion with the torso. And as you create this movement, you can connect the breath with the movement, inhaling to come forward, exhaling out towards the back. Notice how you're feeling here today. If there is anything that begins to come up, any sensations that you might notice in the body as you bring some movement, come back to center and change the directions of the circles to the opposite side. Once again, being mindful of keeping the contact of the sit bones to the ground. And what you will adjust is perhaps if you're making small circles or bigger circles with the torso. Explore and connect with what feels good for you today. Excellent. Come back to center. Inhale, bring both palms up to the sky. And as you exhale, cactus your arms, allowing those elbows to come towards the back. Taking a full breath here. And as you exhale, you're going to release your fingertips towards the back, opening up the chest, opening up the heart. And perhaps your chin will come up slightly. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can come back to center. Keep your gaze forward. And relax your hands towards the front. We're going to warm up here your shoulders, creating circular motions, reaching up towards the ears and towards the back. Focusing on bringing the shoulder blades together and down. It's just a nice active stretch here. By no means we're being lazy on how we're moving. Come back to center, and we're going to change the directions of the motion towards the front. Shoulders up and forward. And relax your shoulders here. We're going to switch things up a little bit here for the warm-up, and we're going to warm up a little bit of our shoulders as we're going to bring a little bit more of sun salutations into the practice. So I want to make sure we protect our shoulders and we protect what's going to hold us up at the beginning of our practice. So we're going to reach up to the sky, almost like you're picking like apples, keeping the sit bones to the ground, and you're just going to reach up. Lengthen the torso through the fingertips as you reach up high. Do that a couple more times here. And come back to center. We're going to reach the right arm up to the sky. And we're going to follow with your gaze as you reach forward and back. A gentle movement here for the shoulder, but also you feel a gentle movement in your lower back. Do that a couple more times here. And we're going to release the right hand down to the knee. And we're going to take it to the opposite side. So we're going to reach the left arm up to the sky. You're going to follow your hand with your gaze forward and back. Excellent. Notice how that feels here for not only your shoulder, perhaps you can feel it also on the side, the rib cage area, lower back. Excellent. 2 more times here. And next time that you come forward, release your hand to your knee. Warm up the wrist here, making little circles with your wrist. Your hands are going to be apart. If you spend a lot of time on the computer and on your cell phone, this might feel really nice for your wrists. If you ever feel a little bit of tension, almost like carpal tunnel syndrome, we're going to make a couple of exercises here that you can also bring throughout the day, and that can be beneficial to just make a little bit of pause and give that love to your hands and your arms. And release here, we're going to bring our hands forward. We're going to extend our hands, bringing our little fingers up. Make little fists, point them down, and release your fingers. And we're going to make that a gentle flow here for our hands. And perhaps you wonder why warming up our wrists are so important, because we put but we put pressure in our hands as we bring a yoga practice that brings a lot more movement or heat. Like if we do sun salutations, there's a lot of movement here and support that comes from the hand. And release down. Excellent. Let's transition it into tabletop position. If you feel that you need some support on your knees, you can bring a blanket underneath your knees. If not, you leave me here. You can tuck your toes under, or you can keep the tops of your feet flat towards the ground. Perhaps it might feel kind of nice to bring your hands slightly forward and give yourself a little bit more space as you arch your back to slightly transition forward. And as you exhale out, you round the spine and push it up towards the ceiling or the sky. Inhale, gently shift forward, arching the back. Exhale to round the spine. And let's do that 3 to 4 times here. A gentle warm up for our spine as well. Connect with the body. And if you need to slow down any of the movements that we are doing, please adapt as needed. By all means, please listen to what your body's telling you to do and respect the limits of your bodies and the boundaries. Excellent. Come back to center here. And we're going to make some circular motions with our hips, taking them around. Adjust your knees if you feel like you need to make a slight adjustment to find a little bit more space. We can do that 2 to 3 more times in one direction. And perhaps the next time that you come forward, we switch the directions of the circles to the opposite side. Begin to notice the differences from the right side and the left side of the body. We acknowledge that perhaps we hold a little bit of stress and tension differently on the left and right side. So from here, we're going to tuck our toes under, take our hips up and back into our first downward dog. Without any expectation of where our stretch might be here, most importantly, be kind and generous with the bend in your knees, alternating your feet or pedaling out your feet one at a time, finding space between your shoulders and your ears, and perhaps you soften your neck, your head, allow it, your gaze to look at your toes or perhaps your belly button. And when you're ready, we begin to walk our feet towards the top of the mat, your feet and your hands. Allow your head to fall heavy towards the ground here. Taking a deep breath in. If there's any tension in your shoulders, allow it to melt down your hands, through your fingers to the ground. Inhale, half lift. You can bring your hands towards your shins. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. And we're going to inhale, stack one vertebra at a time, all the way up into mountain pose. And here in mountain pose, take a moment here to adjust your stance. Your feet are going to be hip distance apart. We're going to take a deep breath in. Inhale. As you exhale, forward fold.
You can swan dive your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, punch your hands down and take your feet back. And we're going to hold here for just a moment, a plank. And as you exhale, push your hips up and back, downward dog. We're going to repeat that 5 times. Come forward, hold plank, 1 to 2 breaths. And then hips up and back, downward dog. 4 more times. Connect with the breath in your core, hips up and back. 3 more times here. Exhale. Inhale, come forward. Exhale out. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale out. 1 last time. Inhale. Exhale, release your chest all the way down to the ground. You're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders, and you're going to gently lift into a baby cobra, activating the muscles in your back. Perhaps also you're going to engage the muscles in your legs and point your toes out and gently lift your hands off the ground. And release down. Let's do that 3 times. Inhale, lift your chest, hands off the ground, engage your legs. 1 last breath and release. 1 last time here. Lifting. Hold it here just a little bit longer. And release. Take your hips up and back into downward dog. And in downward dog, we're going to warm up our legs here and find a gentle stretch. We're going to do a couple of heel pumps. We're going to inhale to raise our heels up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale down. 1 last time. Exhale and walk your feet forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step 1 vertebra at a time, all the way up into mountain pose. Take a moment here to adjust yourself. And when you're ready, together, inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, take your feet back, and hold here for just a second, or 1 more breath. Release all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And in upward facing dog, I would like you to notice what's happening with your hands and your shoulders. If you feel like you're drooping, engage those shoulders, lift yourself up. Find space between your shoulders and your ears, and take your hips up and back into downward dog. From downward dog, we're going to lift 1 leg up into a 3-legged dog. Take a deep breath in, exhale out. Perhaps you bend your knee and a gentle hip opener here. Exhale, step your right foot in between your hands, release your knee down, inhale, low lunge. Take a deep breath in, exhale loud. And as we stay here for 3 to 4 breaths, notice the engagement of your legs. Are you creating that sensation of pulling both legs in to lift the torso up and reach through the fingertips? Inhale and exhale loud. Inhale, exhale. 1 last time, inhale, and as you exhale, cactus your arms, open up your chest. Inhale, love, bring your hands down, take your right foot back, downward dog. Perhaps we come forward and we take a gentle flow, release your all the way down, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's take it to the opposite side, inhale, lift the left foot up. 3-legged dog. Perhaps you bend the left knee to open up the hips, making sure we keep our shoulders square. And we find a gentle opening here of the hips. Step the left foot forward in between your hands, release the right knee down. Low lunge, left foot forward. Take a deep breath in, exhale out. Again, we create that same motion of pulling both thighs inward to lift the torso up and reach through the fingertips. Connecting with the breath. And also softening the shoulders. Don't forget to smile. And on your third breath here, you're going to cactus your arms, actively pulling those elbows towards the back. Reach back up, release your hands down, take your left foot back. Downward dog. Let's take a flow here together. Come forward into a plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. And if you're ready, you can step, hop, or jump towards the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up into an upward salute. Hands together, release them down to heart center. Let's repeat that one more time. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands down. Take your feet back. Hold here for 2 to 3 breaths. Engage those muscles. And release all the way down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, release your right foot in between your hands. Release the left knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, back up. Bring your hands to heart center. We're going to take a gentle rotation. I'm going to change here the orientation of my body so you can also see what's happening. So we're here. We're going to bring our hands together to prayer, and we're going to take a gentle rotation. Your left elbow comes to the right knee, and we gently twist to the right. Pressing through your hands. And release, come back up. And both hands to the ground. Take your right foot back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot up. Exhale, in between your hands. Release the right knee down. Low lunge. Cactus your arms here for just a moment. And reach up to the sky. And just as we did on the other side, we're going to bring our hands together into prayer and gently twist to the right. Right elbow to the left knee. And take a couple of breaths here. This is also good for your digestion. All the twisting. Come back up. Release your hands down to frame your foot. Take your left foot back. Downward dog. And if you would like to join me for a gentle flow here, come forward into a plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. We can walk our feet forward towards the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. And forward fold. Sweep your arms all the way up. Upward salute. Hands into prayer and down to heart center. And from here, we're going to take a small variation. We're going to transition into chair pose. And from chair pose here, we're going to bend our knees, take our sit bones back. And we can bring our hands together into prayer. I'm going to switch one more time, orientation of my body so you can appreciate what's happening. You can bring your hands into prayer. You can extend both hands forward. Find a nice lengthening of the spine. And exhale, release to forward fold. Half lift. Hands down and into plank. Exhale, release, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Let's lift the right foot up and back. And step the right foot forward. And from here, we're going to stay here in just a high lunge. Or perhaps if you would like to begin with a low lunge, we can begin with low lunge. Both hands up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale out, lift the knee off the ground. And perhaps you spin the back heel down and open into a warrior two. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Engaging both legs, creating that attraction towards one another to lift the torso up. Lengthen through the fingertips. One more breath here. Extended side angle. Right forearm to the right knee. Left hand reaches overhead. Lengthen through those fingertips. Find a nice long line here from the left edge of your foot all the way to the left fingertips. Find that gentle rotation of your torso, opening the heart forward. Come back up into a warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Reaching up to the sky, lengthening the right side of your torso. And let's take a skandasana here. We're going to point both toes forward. And we're going to take a side, almost like a side lunge here, hands in prayer. I'm going to change the orientation one more time of my body so you can see what's happening. And this is skandasana. As you work your flexibility little by little, you'll notice that you'll begin to come forward or further down. And if you're interested in exploring what this full skandasana looks like, you can come all the way down. Your toes can point up and hands forward. And release down. We're going to change the orientation of the body towards the other side. Towards the other end of the mat, take your left foot back, downward dog. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling out. One last time, inhale. And as you exhale, come forward into a plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. We're going to take it on the opposite side, extending the left foot up and back. And as you exhale, step the left foot forward in between your hands. And we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to bring first our knee down into a low lunge. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale out, lift that right knee off the ground. And perhaps you spin the back heel down and open your arms into a warrior two. Being mindful of how you are activating the body. It's a beautiful stretch here. It is also an opportunity to strengthen your legs, your body, everything. So take a moment here to breathe in and breathe out. Feel that fire in your legs. And when you're ready, let's take an extended side angle. Left forearm to the left knee, right arm reaches overhead. Keeping a nice opening of the chest here. Lengthen through the right fingertips. One last breath here. Come back up into a warrior two and reverse your warrior. Palm facing up and take it back. Lengthening the left side or your left torso if that's where you're at with me. And exhale. We're going to point both toes forward and we're going to take skandasana now on the right side. So we're going to take a gentle here side lunge. Or perhaps if you would like to explore coming all the way down, you can also do so. Take time here just to adjust to what is important to you or what is your focus on how your body feels today. Take a deep breath in, exhale out, inhale, and exhale. Gently come out to almost like a wide-legged forward fold, and we're going to change the direction of the body back towards the front of the mat. Take your right foot back. And here we take downward dog. Take a deep breath in, exhale out. Take a moment here to catch your breath. Inhale and exhale out. Inhale and exhale to release here. Gently come forward into a plank. And perhaps you can bring your right knee down into a supported plank. And we're going to take a supported side angle here. Supporting yourself with the bottom foot. And reaching through your fingertips. Release the left hand down. And we're going to take it to the opposite side here. Let me change the orientation so I can continue to look towards the camera. Take an extended side angle on the opposite side. Make sure you feel stable here. And take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Slowing down the breath after those sun salutations. The body's warm. Release the right hand down here. And bring both knees into a tabletop position.
We're going to bring the right knee forward and spin the heel outwards. And we're going to take a pigeon pose here. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out. Checking in on how the outer hip might be feeling. If it feels very tight, treat yourself with kindness. Extend yourself compassion and patience as you work with your own body and your own breath. And if it feels good, you can come down to your forearms. You can rock your hips from side to side. It might feel nice here. And perhaps you would like to release your forehead down to the ground. Take 2 to 3 breaths here. And when you're ready, release and come back onto your hands and lift your torso off the ground. Release your hips down and spin that left foot forward. And we're gonna do like a shoelace here without any expectation that our knees need to be stacked completely. Just find a nice lifting of the chest, softening your shoulders. And perhaps if you would like, you can gently lean in towards your knees and feel a nice stretch on the outer hip of the top leg. And gently come back up. And we're going to take it to the opposite side here. So we're going to release. I'm going to change the orientation of my body once again. You stay where you are. And we're going to come back into a tabletop position. And now we're going to do the opposite leg. So if you did the right, you're going to do the left. We're going to bring the left knee slightly forward and turn, swing, for lack of a better word, swing the ankle towards the right. You can walk that back foot slightly more towards the back end of the mat. And once again, allow yourself to be supported by your hands. And begin to explore here how the left outer hip is feeling. A little bit more tightness or less, or maybe the same. Just noticing what the body tells us today. And can we move a little bit more mindfully? From here, release. You can come down to your forearms if that feels good, or you can stay up where you were on supporting yourself with your hands. Once again, you can rock your hips from side to side. I personally enjoy doing this. It gives a little bit more of a dynamic movement, not so static. And if you explore coming all the way down and bringing your forehead to the ground, you can do so as well. Take 3 breaths here, inhaling through the nose, and as you exhale out, perhaps you soften a little bit more, and you release that tension that you might be storing here. And when you're ready, come back up onto your hands and allow your left hip to come down towards the mat, and bring the right foot all the way around. Once again, I'm going to change the orientation of my body so you can see me. And now we're going to have that back leg, that knee is going to come up. Once again, you can aim to bring one knee slightly closer together to stack them up. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale out, you can gently lean forward. Feel that nice stretch on the outer right hip. And gently come back up. Let's release here and have both soles of your feet meeting together into a butterfly pose here. You can interlace your fingers underneath your feet, and gently lift your heart forward. And as you exhale out, perhaps you lean over your feet, a nice stretch for the inside of your thighs. You can allow your head or your gaze to look forward or slightly in front of you. And gently come back up. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees to close your knees here. And we're going to transition into to bring our back down, our backs to the mat.
You can gently bring in your knees to give yourself a gentle hug. And you can bring your hands to your knees and give a gentle rotation here, keeping your lower back to neck connected to the ground and making little circles here for a gentle massage. And I'll change the directions till it's the opposite side. Come back to center. You can bring your knees towards the right. Open your left hand to make like a T, and your gaze can follow your left fingertips. Gently come forward and take your knees to the opposite side. Extend the other arm. Your gaze follows, or you can stay looking up. And come back to center. Give yourself one last hug here. And let's take our final resting pose. Extending both legs out. Your palms can be facing upwards or down. And just allow yourself here to feel supported by the ground beneath you. Giving yourself the opportunity to slow down your breath. To notice how your body's feeling after creating a little bit of movement. And take 2 to 3 breaths here. And then you can begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Make gentle circles with your wrists and your ankles. You want to do a gentle stretch here overhead. Point your toes. And you can roll onto one side. Bring one hand down. And you support yourself all the way up into a seated posture. And from here, together, let's take a deep breath in, both palms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to heart center. And as usual, as I always say, bow down to yourself in gratitude for making space for your self-care, a moment for breathing, a moment for movement, a moment for yourself. And namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.